Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express, the most important news and editorial of the day that are relevant for the preparation of civil services examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 4th of February. The first important news, that is railway plans to upgrade the ticketing capacity. This was recently proposed in the budget. Second, G20 meeting to emphasize on rural and architectural tourism. India is leading this time G20, and this is an opportunity for India. A whole gamut of development will take place. Third is the proposed changes in Agniveer recruitment process. Government has last year launched the Agniveer scheme, and some changes in the recruitment process has been proposed by the army. Second last, India made artificial tears linked to outbreak in US, and US FDA has barred the sale of the particular product. We'll see the detail what are the concern. And the last is an editorial charge sheet scrutiny is not a case of praying eyes. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. And before I begin this session, those of you who are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do press a like button. Starting the session with the first news, that is railway plans to upgrade the ticketing capacity, something important for general studies paper 2 under the subtopic, that is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementation. So what are the changes that has been proposed by the Ministry of Railway? We'll see that. So while addressing a press conference, the Minister for Railways or the Minister of Railway has said that Indian Railway plans to upgrade the capacity of issuing ticket from 25,000 to 2.5 lakh tickets per minute. This is something very important for country like India, where a footfall of railway ticketing is increasing, right? So a welcome step by the government of India, specifically by the Ministry of Railway, where they have revamped and increased the per ticket number from 25,000 to 2.5 lakh. Currently, the IT system of Indian Railway can process the booking of 25,000 tickets in 1 minute, which has been added and revamped to 2.25 lakh tickets per minute. Now, the upgradation is expected to completed by the month of September this year, because there's some due process that has to be followed, and the technical upgradation takes some time. So the anticipation from the government is that by September 2023, the entire process will work with full potential. The railway will also ramp up attending the queries from 4 lakhs to 40 lakhs per minute. So अगर बात करें कुछ queries, concern, grievances की, जहाँ पे 4 lakh queries per minute में address की जाती थी, now the manpower and with the technological upgradation, it can go up to 40 lakh queries and concern inquiries by 40 lakhs per minute. Now, new railway tracks and flyovers की बात की गई. The Minister for Railway has said that the government of India has set a target to lay new railway tracks for a distance of 7,000 kilometers in the financial year for 2023 and 24. And in the union budget, the railway has received a total outlay of 2.4 lakh crore rupees. The efforts were put in place to link the small town villages across the railway line that were ongoing, and even close to 10,438 flyovers and underpass has been constructed. The government planned to construct 1,000 new flyover and underpass with a new design element to prevent the flooding. This is again a concern for Indian Railways. So they will ensure that the technological upgradation on the part of the flyover construction and underpass will also take, and this will ensure that the flooding, which is a problem, should be avoided. Now, there's a concept called Jan Suvidha Convenience Store. This will be also increased in the railway station. The Minister of Railway has also announced that the Jan Suvidha Convenience Store will be constructed at 2,000 railway stations across the country that will remain open round the clock. Now, Vande Bharat metro train, as per the Ministry of Railway, for smooth travel and between the town, the Vande Bharat metros train will be launched over the shorter distance ranging from 25 kilometers to 60 kilometers. As you know, Vande Bharat is one of the state of art railway that is operating in India. It's a high speed train, and even a lot of facilities has been increased under this train, right? A new concept has been incorporated in the railways. So cities like Sitapur and Lucknow, Bhubaneswar and Cuttack will be connected via this train. So the shorter distance between the cities will be connected via Vande metro trains. Now, the one station, one product scheme, this is not new. This was actually launched last year in March 2022. So, one station, one product concept aims to encourage the indigenous and specialized product and craft of India by promoting display and sell on the railway station across the country. कुछ specific आप इसे एग्जाम्पल के तौर पे इवन माइंड आप छोटे लेवल पे जीआई की बात भी कर सकते हैं बट जीआई हैज अ डिफरेंट प्लेटफॉर्म द यूनिकनेस ऑफ अ स्पेसिफिक रीजन can be forecasted via one station, one product, right? So the scheme was launched last year at 19 railway stations, and currently 594 style are operational at 550 stations, opening the new market for local artisans, women, and self-help group. The scheme will be expanded to 750 cities across the India. Now moving to the other news, G20 meeting to emphasize on rural and archaeological tourism, something important for General Studies paper 2 under the subtopic of General Studies, that is bilateral regional grouping and agreement involving India and affecting India's interest. So the Ministry of Tourism will organize a series of events during the sideline of G20 meeting to promote the rural and archaeological tourism. India has a rich heritage and culture that will be definitely promoted via archaeological tourism. The rural tourism is an important and significant part, which will also call for increasing the livelihood options and even require a lot of participation, which will give youth an opportunity for the employment as well. The event will also endeavor to include the promotions of UNESCO World Heritage Site. India has a good number of UNESCO World Heritage sites. So these UNESCO World Heritage Site will be promoted during the G20 meeting. Now, working group meeting of G20, there will be 4 working group meeting in the G20, and the Ministry of Tourism has set 5 important priorities for the 4 working group. And India's 5 priority will benefit India as well as the world, not specifically only India. It is something that is going to help across the globe, across the members. So the 5 priorities include greening of tourism sector, the power of digitalization, empowering of youth will skill, nurturing tourism of micro, small and medium enterprises as well as startups, and strategic management of the destination. So this is how the things are going to be worked, and the priorities has been set under the G20 working group meeting. Now the first employment working group meeting, which has recently started in Jodhpur, the venue very important. A direct question can be framed in the prelims and many other government examinations. So recently India's first employment working group meeting began in Jodhpur in Rajasthan. The panel has held a discussion with a focus on developing a collaborative roadmap for the global skill under the India's G20 presidency. The panel will also discuss the global trend in the skill shortages, surpluses, mismatch, and deliberated by the means to plug this skill deficit. Although Government of India is promoting national skill through its various programs, but here a deep collaborations roadmap for international skill and qualification will be harmonized, and the participants of G20 will have their own set of contribution for the member countries. Now other area of interest की अगर बात करें, the G20 meeting that is ongoing, यहाँ पे कुछ और priorities areas भी highlight किए गए हैं that include the part of digitalizations, promotions of micro, small and medium enterprises, skilling people, promotion, waste management organization are also included in this meeting, and this will also benefit tourism around the world, including India. Now, highlighting India's culture and heritage, very significant part. The G20 meeting will be held at 55 venues. This is what the government has set the places in India, and the center is going to be culturally rich, located around the place and forest. So government of India with this venue will definitely call for the promotions of India's culture and heritage. And this will help the tourism department in respective state and the government of India that will try to highlight India's culture and heritage to represent the G20 countries. Now, to show you a map about the India's cultural heritage, the cultural and natural side, some of the very significant, important sites. If you talk about North India, Qutub Minar, Humayun Tomb, Red Fort, and extreme south, we have Bideshwara Temple. In central India, we have Sanchi, we have Bhimbetka, and even other part of the group of temple at Khajuraho. So there are a lot more cultural heritage in terms of archaeological sites. You can pause this video, you can take the screenshot for better references and make sure you are aware of each and every state having the World Heritage Site which is recognized by the UNESCO. Now moving to the other news, proposed changes in Agniveer recruitment process, something important for General Studies paper 2 under the subtopic that is welfare schemes for the vulnerable section of the population by the center and the states. So the army has recently announced the changes in the recruitment process for Agniveers. Under the process, changes of 3 steps for recruitment of soldiers to force will be put in place, and candidate wanting to join the Agniveer scheme and the forces, that is the 3 forces, will have to undergo with a common entrance examination. So this part has been included to nominate in the nominated center. Earlier, this was the end process. Now this will be the first process that army will take. So there will be a common entrance examination first, then it will be followed by some other physical test. So CE will be followed by physical test during the recruitment, and after which the medical test before the selection will take place. So it has proposed the 3-step process as of now, and this is to ensure that quality is being inculcated in the part of the recruitment. The new process will make the part of the common eligibility exam or entrance for qualifying the first screening, and will have a better qualified candidate who will then be examined with physical fitness and will undergo with the medical test. Right? So if you're writing anything about Indian Army and the part of the changes, you can use this as an example also. The officer added that the new recruitment process will substantially reduce the cost involved in organizing the rallies and even ease out the administrative and logistic burden that the army has to prove. The erstwhile process की अगर बात करें, जो पुरानी प्रोसेस है, the recruitment process for अग्निवीर followed a different order. पहले क्या होती थी? पहले physical test, उसके बाद followed by medical test, then you have to qualify for the common entrance exam, right? So CE was a last step. Now it has been made as a first step, after which all other subsequent process will follow. Now अग्निवीर की total strength की अगर बात करें from the time it was incepted, so far 19,000 Agniveer had joined the Indian Army, 21,000 had joined the forces in the first week of March, and the new recruitment rule will apply to 40,000 candidates that are willing to join Army from the recruitment cycle of 2023 and 24. The number of candidates who attend the recruitment rallies earlier varied from 5,000 in a smaller town to 1.5 lakh in the bigger city. So these are the differences in the total strength of Agniveer that are recruited. Now moving to the other news, India made artificial tears linked to Superbug outbreak in US. This is again very disappointing on the part that the manufacturer has been blocked by the US FDA. Something important for General Studies paper 2 under the subtopic that is issues related to development and management of health. So recently the US FDA, that is Food and Drug Administration, has restricted the import of eye drop that were linked to the outbreak of drug resistance bacteria across the United States. So US FDA is a nodal body जो कि पूरी तरह से वहाँ के medicines part को health system को regulate करती है. They have reported that the infections to 55% and even this particular artificial tear has led to death of one individual. The product was manufactured in India in a Chennai-based company that is called Global Pharma Private Healthcare Limited. Now they have been barred. The restriction has been made by the US FDA. Now they will not be allowed to sell any of the drop in the United States. Now, more about the drop. This is the drop that is released. That was actually sent under the brand name called Easy Care. The Global Pharma Healthcare Private Limited has launched the artificial tear, which was sold under the brand name called Easy Care, right? So the Delsma Pharma were recalled by the firm on 1st of February after the US FDA received alert from the US Center for Disease Control and Prevention, this is CDC, about their possible contaminations, right? So you can take a note of that, because sometimes a direct question on the part of company's name can also be framed in many other government examination. Now, manufacturing issues पे बात की गई है. There's something technical here a bit. You don't need to remember the name. I'll just tell you कि कहाँ पे क्या चीज़ें आपके लिए important है. Manufacturing issues की अगर बात करें, the global pharma said that the cluster of veron intriguin medicated metillo B lactamase, ये VIM है, जिसमें changes की बात की गई, and even guna extended spectrum B lactamase producing the carbapenem resistance Pseudomonas aeruginosa infection detected in multiple United States, possibly associated with the use of artificial tears. तो जो रेजिस्टेंस की बात की गई है, इन्फेक्शन की बात की गई है, दैट इज बेसिकली द सुडोमोनास aeruginosa infection. That is important. This part is important from examination perspective. Now, earlier the cases of medical concern were there from Indian company operating in different part of the world. Last month, 20 children in Uzbekistan died, reported after consuming of a cough syrup, which was manufactured by the Noida-based company known as Marion Biotech. तो इस कंपनी के भी जो प्रोडक्ट थे वो भी काफ़ी basically globally they were banned, and this definitely set a negative setback to the manufacturers and even impression for India as well. Now, before the October last year, 66 deaths were reported in Gambia that were linked to the consumption of cough syrup by an Indian company called Madden Pharmaceutical. So these were the two latest other cases that were reported globally, and these two were associated with the cough syrup. The first one, the latest one, is associated with the artificial tears. Now, moving to the editorial of the day, charge sheet scrutiny is not a case for praying eyes. Something important for General Studies paper 2 under the subtopic of General Studies, that is structure, organization and function of executive and judiciary. This is written by Mr. R.K. Raghavan, who is a former director of CBI and also teaches criminal justice at Jindal Global University, Shonipat in Haryana. Now, what are the issues that is relevant under this editorial? First, talking about the theme. The theme is about the charge sheet and its concern. The issues include the Section 74 of the Evidence Act. We'll see the background in this context also. Contradicting on the earlier order. The time has changed, how the judiciary has been put in questions, because there are a lot of queries and other part of the tools that has been formulated. And the conclusion part, very important in this editorial aspects. So starting with the background part. So recently what has held that the Supreme Court has held that the police and the investigation agencies like the CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation, या फिर ED की बात करें, Enforcement Directorate, they cannot be directed to upload the charge sheet filed in the cases, in any criminal cases, right? Supreme Court ने से held किया because Supreme Court was hearing PIL that was filed. Now, what Apex Court has noted that the copies of charge sheet and the attached relevant document do not fall under the ambit of RTI. जो RTI की बात की गई है, where you can take information. तो इस तरह के criminal cases में आप information नहीं ले सकते हैं, because and the Supreme Court has remarked that charge sheet is not a public domain and it's violate the right of an accused as well as victim and even the investigation agencies. Whomsoever is the investigation agency, कहीं ना कहीं उसकी functioning पे भी impact होती है, ये note किया Supreme Court ने. From this particular topic, a direct question in the mains examination can also be framed. So make sure you have a good point to write in the mains, and even you can take a note what I'm discussing in this part. Now, the order was passed by disposing a petition that were filed as a public interest litigation by activists of the PIL, and journalists were part of this PIL. Now, Section 74 of Evidence Act की बात की है Supreme Court ने. The Supreme Court has said that the Section 74 of the Evidence Act defined that the public document are those documents which fall the acts of record sovereign authorities, official bodies, tribunal, and public offices that are either legislative, judicial, or executive in any part of the common and foreign country. It is also including the public record keeping any state in the private document. कोर्ट ने ये भी कहा that the document mentioned under section 74 of the Evidence Act cannot be can only be said to be a public document if it is satisfied copies that is given to the concerned public authorities custody as such as a public document और किसी भी concern में इसे as evidential proof नहीं यूज किया जा सकता है. Now, contradictions on the earlier order, what Supreme Court has recently said is contradictory on the part of the order that was previously there by the Supreme Court and Honorable High Court. The judgment seems to be contradicting the order that was passed by the court in the Youth Bar Association of India versus Union of India. It directed that the first information report, that is FIR, here it was talking about FIR, and in any cases the relevant document has to be uploaded in the website within 24 hours. This was specifically with regards to FIR. Now what Supreme Court has said is with regards to the charge sheet, right? So charge sheet की बात की है Supreme Court ने, and it said that there was a public pursuit for appropriate action. So this context was related to that. But कोर्ट ने ये व्यू दिया अपनी ओपिनियन में that charge sheet is a final report specifying the code of criminal procedures जहाँ पे सारे केसेस और जो भी सेक्शंस इम्पोज किए गए हैं उस कन्विक्ट के लिए या फिर वो एक्यूज के लिए वो सारी चीज़ें मेंशन होती है और इट इज़ डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द एफआईआर. अगर एफआईआर की बात करें दिस इज ओनली द फर्स्ट इन्फॉर्मेशन रिपोर्ट वेयर मच ऑफ द डिटेल्स आर नॉट स्पेसिफिकली मेंशन, बट चार्जशीट में एक एक चीज़ों की डिटेल्स होती है, देयर माइन्यूट डिटेल्स व्हेन द अकरेंस टुक प्लेस, एवरीथिंग इज सेड देयर, राइट? So that the Supreme Court has said that the charge sheet is different from the FIR, hence it cannot be shared with anyone other than accused or victim. And I personally feel yes, this is something to a larger extent, even if it is in a public domain, it violates the right to privacy of an individual. Now this was presumably because the charge sheet was in a comprehensive account and a crime and even a vital information such as a list of prosecutions, witness. तो ये सारी चीज़ें जो कि कोर्ट के एम्बिट के विदिन होती है वो पब्लिक डोमेन में आने से कहीं ना कहीं प्रोसिक्यूशंस के विटनेस को भी खतरा कर सकती है. एंड इवन द इन्वेस्टिगेशन ऑफिसर्स विल हैव अ प्रॉब्लम इन कंक्लूडिंग ऑल द इन्वेस्टिगेशन प्रोसेस. Now the time have changed. Now in the recent time there has been a lot more questioning about the functioning of the judiciary. So as per India's rule and law, now from early days there were confidentiality that was involved and there was a mantra in every aspect of a judicial activity. As of now, earlier the court was an institution which was a sacrosanct institution. तो जहाँ पे किसी भी तरह की कोई dispute नहीं होती थी, उसके order को बिना criticism के मान ली जाती थी. Now things has changed and there's a situation now where judges are often criticized in media and even the judicial decision are unconventionally, that is linked to the unpopular expectation, and even जुडिशरी के जजमेंट पे अभी भी कमेंट करने से बांट किया गया है लोगों को. नो मेंबर्स आर अलाउड टू बेसिकली डिस्कस द मैटर. You can have an opinion, but you cannot criticize that because judiciary is an epitome institution which is working for the betterment in the country and even incorporating the rules and law that is essentially required, securing our fundamental rights as well. Now, conclusion की अगर बात करें, Supreme Court in its order in a wake-up call said that all investigation agencies, including the Central Bureau of Investigation, that is CBI, or in fact ED, that is Enforcement Directorate, will have often to be assailed by the court delay in filing the charge sheet for the poor quality of investigations. So court की scrutiny की अगर बात करें, it's a good feature in Indian criminal justice system, but reasonably we have to see the false prosecution that is also taking place and where an individual innocent is also being harassed. So the process has to be completed. Once the court has not convicted an individual, you cannot claim that he has made anything, right? And the top court should have ordered the public scrutiny of the charge sheet before a trial begins. It would be a setback for judicial reform. This is what one opinion is. And it will not only hamper the quality of investigation, right? So there has to be some level of basically privacy that has to be maintained when an ongoing investigation, specifically in the criminal cases, is taking place and where the state's enforcement agencies are involved. So this is on the part of the conclusion, and I just wanted to share a small news that might be relevant for case studies and other paper, that the hard gel had got AI powered surveillance system. I'm not discussing in this detail because that part is not important. तो बात की गई है यहाँ पे तिहाड़ जेल में, जहाँ पे AI powered cameras लगाए जाएंगे, and even staff will be equipped with walkie-talkies and biometric system will be included to ensure that India's top jail is secured with all amenities. तो इस तरह के आप क्लासिकल एग्जाम्पल यूज कर पाएंगे जनरल स्टडीज के पेपर में, and even for the general studies paper 4 in the case study section. So just to give you a basic premise. Now moving to the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday questions. The first question, the correct option is B. The second question, the correct option is B. Now today's MCQ for practice is Global Education Monitoring Report is released by United Nations Education, Scientific and Culture Organization, United Nations Child Emergency Fund, United Nations Public Administration Program, and World Bank. Which among the following is a correct option? Do check it out. And the second question, that is India Cyber Crime Coordination Center. It is under the control of Prime Minister of India. The scheme was set up 14C that was approved in 2018 to deal with the types of crime in comprehensive and coordinated manner. So do check it out for the correct option, which among the following is correct one. Practicing a lot more question will help you to build the conceptual clarity over the topic. This was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis, followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.